If your machine's been sitting for a while because you haven't been doing any sewing or quilting, then it's probably a good idea to clean it. So in today's Tuesdays with Grace, we're going to go over some basic machine maintenance with you. There are lots of different tools that you can use for cleaning your machine. Your machines come with a little brush, right, and come with oil, but there are a few other ones that you can use as well so you can get into those cracks and crevices. This is one that I got at what I call the other quilting store, but basically a hardware store where it's all on a key ring and it's got all of these reusable, they kind of look like mascara brushes, so you can get into all the little nooks and crannies to clean things out, and you don't have to throw them away, they're easy to use. They also have these ones that have the more rubbery tips to them. Again, come in different sizes and shapes so you can get into all of those spaces. And even like this little one here that's more disposable for getting into some of those real tight places depending on the particular machine that you have. We're going to primarily focus on the machines that we have here at Grace, but I do want to talk a little bit about using air. So definitely check with your manufacturer and read your instruction manual to determine whether or not you should use air. But I would not use compressed air. That's one of the big debates that I see all the time, is that compressed air, because it's under pressure, when you use it, it comes out cold. And because it comes out cold, it can actually add moisture and push things in the back of your machine. So one of the things that my husband got for his computer, this is designed for electronics, and I stole, so it now lives in my quilt room, is an air blower. Or you could get like a small vacuum for electronics, and this is great for dusting things, getting in those nooks and crannies. You know, it's a little loud, but I use it to clean off my frame as well and kind of blow out in between when I'm changing bobbins and stuff like that. So if you do want to use air, something like this is a better choice instead of compressed air. I'm going to turn it over to Sabrina, who's going to show us how to do some of the more maintenance that you need to do using the Little Rebel.
Perfect. So it's important to clean and oil your machine before every new project that you start. When you start a project, you want to make sure it's in the best condition, you have a fresh needle, and that your machine is in good standing and ready to rock and roll so you don't come up with any hiccups in between your project. It's also important to oil your hook assembly every other bobbin change, as well as your needle bar. It's crucial to make sure that the machine runs well and has good, clean stitching. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start by just cleaning everything off. We're gonna put the needle in the down position to start. And we just wanna make sure that this needle bar is free of any fluff. With our finesse thread being polyester, it still has that cotton-like texture, and so you end up with a lot of extra fluff. Then we're gonna check in here with our bobbin case. We're gonna pull it out. We don't have a bobbin in here right now, so we're just gonna dust it out, make sure that there's, oh, big fluff came out of that one. You wanna make sure that it's fully clean and good in there. And then we're gonna check our hook assembly. So inside of here, you end up with a lot of lint and dust, especially if you're using a fabric like minky or flannel, you will end up with a ton of lint. So we're just gonna get that all cleaned out. You can see the big chunks of it. And the nice part about our machines is you never have to lift up the stitch plate, because you can access everything from underneath and from the side here. So it's a good idea not to take off your stitch plate. So now that we've got all of the lint we can out of our machine, we can now oil it. So what we're gonna do is we are going to put a drop of oil, whoops, with the needle in the down position. We're going to put a drop of oil right here on the needle bar. Right in there. And then we're also going to oil our hook assembly. We'll put a drop in there. And with that, we're just gonna let the machine run. So make sure that your pedal is disconnected if you're using the little Rebel, and then go ahead and start it. Okay, and you just want to make sure that there's no extra oil left over. But what that does is the machine oils itself. Once you have that oil on there, it spins around and the oil gets on everything that it needs to. So just make sure there's no oil left over and you are ready to sew.
Now, what's nice about all of the machines at Grace is they're built very similarly. The 19 does have a cover here that covers your hook, right? So just like Sabrina showed you, you're going to clean that all out. But there's one other part that you might want to clean, and that is actually this little tensioner bar that's here. So you want to clean your tensioners as well. That is on your bobbin assembly case thing here, because sometimes you get thread and stuff that's stuck underneath here, like it breaks or you get a little tiny bit of fuzz, and this would affect the tension of your bobbin as it's coming through. So you're sitting there and you're checking in and everything seems to be right, and yet you're still having tension problems. It could be this as well. So give that just a nice little needle to kind of pull anything out of that. If your machine has your thread tower like this, I would also look into cleaning this as well, because I have had thread break and get stuck in here. So you can use something like dental floss to get in here and get anything unstuck. That way when you thread your machine, it doesn't get caught and doesn't cause you any issues when you're doing that. Couple other places that you might want to clean, you have this little tensioner disc here. You can open that up and just get any fuzzies that can come off of that. But your main tensioner disc is here. And so we recommend that you open this all the way up to your one so that it's nice and loose and you can dust anything out of there as well. I just kind of sometimes peek around a couple of the other little places where thread might get stuck and just make sure that's all cleaned and ready to go. Again, be sure to check with your manufacturer for best ways to clean your machine and also for annual maintenance. Your dealer will usually have a plan with you on when you should bring your machine in so they can open it up and do a deeper cleaning than we showed you today. But now that your machine is clean and oiled, you are ready to start quilting.
Join us next week on Tuesdays with Grace, where we'll talk about how to load each of our Grace frames to get the most out of your project.
I'm so excited. We're almost to quilting season.